Hi, welcome to my Wednesday Night Live. I'm Nicole with Equally Creative by Nicole, and I'm so excited tonight because I'm going to share with you three different ornaments that we will create. And again, I love ornaments. I used to make ornaments with my kids while they were young. Um, we've made a wide variety where we took tiles and we stamped reindeer or stockings or snowflakes on them. We backed them with felt and trimmed them with like a gold trim and all kinds of stuff. We've made the ones where you take the baby's handprint and put it on the ornament, the bulb. We have done curled paper inside of a glass ball ornament or even the little oval shaped ones. So ornaments are a big thing in my family for me and my kiddos. Every year, if you are celebrating Christmas with us, you will receive an ornament. Last year, I actually purchased ornaments from a friend of mine, Donna Vizina. Sorry, I have to get a tissue. My eyes are burning. So my good friend Donna, who owns a business called Twisted Viz Designs, she made some really awesome Louisiana ornaments a couple of years ago. And so we did that when we took our family trip to Alabama for Christmas. That was definitely a new experience to not be home for the holidays at all. So everybody that came got an ornament. Um, I'm trying to think what I sent out last year. I do not recall. I sent out gingerbreads last year. Again, I purchased from Miss Donna. And this year we're gonna make our own ornaments and go back to that whole crafting piece. It's a lot of fun. My last kiddo that's here is gonna hopefully help, and obviously Lynn will assist as well. So I hope you enjoy the ornaments that I have for you tonight. And don't forget to like and share. I appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera view here so you can see. Go ahead and grab a snapshot of that if you'd like, a screenshot. These are the measurements for this cute medallion ornament here. So we're going to go ahead and put this one together first. I'm going to turn on my glue gun. This is a special craft event tonight because we will be utilizing a variety of tools and extra elements. So the first thing I have is I'm going to use a silicone mat. Now I have a small one that I usually craft on, but that's what my glue gun is sitting on behind me. So this one is not by Stampin' Up. I just happen to have an extra one laying around, and it's very helpful for this project. So it's a generic one that I just keep rolled up on the side. So you're gonna need two 1-inch strips. You're gonna need 4 strips that are 1 1/4. As you can see, we're gonna be accordion folding these, and that is how we're going to create our medallions. And then you'll need 2 1.5-inch strips. So one piece of 12 by 12 designer series paper will make one complete ornament. So you will accordion fold all of your pieces. You will have 2 of the 1 1/4 by 8. You're going to adhere those together. I just stuck those together with a little bit of adhesive, just accordion fold as we went. And you'll have the 1.5 by 10-inch. You're going to have 2 of those. And again, you're going to adhere those right there and accordion fold that. Now I did do that ahead of time. As I said, it takes a little bit of time to do all of these fan folds. This is definitely something you could do after Thanksgiving dinner, before you pass out, or after you've taken your nap. sitting around watching football. If you're watching the parade in the morning before you eat, you can sit there and accordion fold your pieces, because this is the part that takes the longest. So I went ahead and did most of those in advance so I can get this done for you in a timely fashion. Don't forget to say hi if you hop on, even if it's just for a moment. And then if this is something you think you might want to do, sharing this video will put it on your page and you'll be able to go back and find it. Okay, here's that last one. These do not have to be perfect. If they did, it wouldn't be my project. All right, so here is the 12-inch piece. So let me slide this down just a little bit. So this is the 1 by 12, 1 1/4 by 8, 2 of those glued together, 1 1/2 by 10, 2 of those glued together, and again 1 1/4 by 8 glued together, and the last 1 by 12. So what we're going to do now is, with the hot glue, we're going to create medallions. And this was the trickiest part for me. And basically, you're going to put this into this circle. So you've got to glue the end and then flip it so that you have this center. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this end. I can use the hot glue, or I can use any of our adhesive products. If you can advance the tape, it will work. There we go. And I just used this last night as well, or yeah, last night when I made the blue one. And it just worked just as well as anything else. So you'll make all of those little loops. And then we will turn them into medallions and put some glue on them, some hot glue. If you're doing this with kids, you're going to want a grown-up nearby. I started mine on the hot setting and then I turned it down to the cool setting, but I think I prefer the hot. It has a little bit less of the stringies that happen with hot glue. So we have one more of these, and you'll see once these are all medallions that they will, the sizes of them or the shapes of them will just be seen very clearly. Uh-oh, my camera switched again. I don't know what happens. All right, sorry about that. I guess I'll have to pay more attention to that. Not sure why that does that. It started last week. Very wonky. Let's see if I can keep this over here. So again, I said the hardest part is going to be flipping these so that they make medallions. And there we go. So that was the hardest part of this whole task. And then getting this to stay glued together is the second part. So let's see if I have a little bit of glue, and I do, just enough. And I'm just going to kind of push this all together in the center, make sure it stays. You can see this popped open. I'm just going to push that back. It's not going to be perfect looking on this end. These are stacked on one another, so they just need to stay together. All right, so that is what we do for all 5 of these. I did not do any of these in advance, so you're going to see just the hardest parts right here. So like I said, the hardest part right here. So push that down. Now I do have a couple of these sets, these kits ready to go. So if you want to try any of tonight's ornaments, just follow the instructions in the description to order one or place an order at my online store, and I will send you a kit. Oop. All right, so that one flipped back out. I've got to re-glue this one. Oop. I'm using this teeny tiny glue gun because I thought it would be much easier, but I think the heavier ones stay in place a little bit easier, so who knows. All right, 1, 2. Number 3 here. So I do recommend grabbing one of our silicone mats unless you have like a Silpat in your kitchen or something like that. And I'll show you, ours are a little bit smaller, so you will want to do one at a time on there, but that is absolutely the perfect size to put my glue gun when it's warming up. So I love it. I think I should have like my fan on higher so that these cool off a little bit quicker, but there we go. Oh goodness, the second one that flipped up. So I'm gonna do what I did the other night, and that is put a tiny dollop of the hot glue on the bottom as well. And I just kind of center this over it. And this was the purpose behind using my giant one, because now I'm just gonna let this cool off right here, and I'll peel it off of the silicone later. So let's see, I'll do this one over here for you to see. Put that right there over that dollop of hot glue, and now I'll add the rest to the center and the top here. And I'll give that a moment. Make sure it doesn't pop open. Right, and we've got one more, and I'll show you, I think this one, oh, I'm going to hold that a little bit longer. But this one is ready to peel off, and you can see it just gets a little dollop of glue there. We'll do the center layer here, which is our largest medallion. If you end up with a spot where your folds aren't the greatest because of your seam, you can just add an extra little fold, because it doesn't have to be perfect, and it will work just fine. I say that, but mine is not working just fine. There we go. You can see my hot glue is staying hot for a little bit extra here. Get my funky fold in place. All right, and this is our largest one, so just pushing that glue into the center here, and then I'm going to hold this so that it stays. And while this one is cooling off in place, I will tell you that I have a really awesome recipe that I'm going to be trying, and we're going to post that on Friday. So be on the lookout for that that Facebook post, because I can't wait to try it. And if you try it, I want to know how you like it. Ta-da! Okay, so now we're going to layer these. And you're going to do from smallest to largest and then back down to smallest. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue here. And I'm layering this right on top so that it's centered. And then we will lay this right on top of this large one here. And then we're going to peel this one off. I'll peel this one off. This one is going to go on here, and you're going to kind of eyeball the center of that one so that it graduates back in decreasing order here. And then we'll put this last one on the bottom. And then we're going to take a little bit of some twine, and we're actually going to glue the twine in two of the little crevices of the medallion. And then we will tie with our silver ribbon here a bow on it. So what I did, make sure you can see, okay. I took this and I added a little bit of glue in opposite sides. And then I tucked my twine in there. This is a great time if you have a take-a-pick tool to kind of push it in there. Your take-a-pick tool is one that you can actually clean off afterwards. So I'm just going to twist that. Well, I was trying not to get any glue all over my fingers this go round. There we go. Okay, so here is our ornament. And then I just took some of this, and this comes in your kit as well. And then I tied a bow around it here. It's much easier if you have a second pair of hands to hold this in place, which I do not have at the moment. You could just push that down, and there is ornament number 1. So that took about 20 minutes. If you added another 10 to do the folds, and if you did these in batches, it would probably go much faster, but I just thought that was the cutest little pine cone looking ornament. So here are this week's ornaments. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside, and I'll share with you the next one, which I don't need the glue gun anymore, so I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'll move this out of the way. So ornament number 2 is a ball ornament. I'm sure you have seen these before. This is not a very new technique, but I did add a little bit of gold to my edges and my gold hanging twine here. Today we're going to use silver because it aligns a little bit better with the paper that I pulled. So this is our Berry Christmas paper. And I have 6 circles cut out. You are going to start by choosing which side you want. This is going to be the side that I want to show. And so I'm going to fold each of these in half so that I have a semicircle, and I'm going to do that with all 6. Now these can be made easier or harder. You don't have to add a fun element to the edges. You could do glitter if you wanted, or leave them plain. Your kit is going to come with the ribbon here and the paper. So you can embellish as you wish. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal adhesive for this. We're going to make our ball simply by adding all of our semicircles together, and I am stacking them directly on top of one another so that they are nice and even as much as possible. That one did not go very evenly, so one of the nice things about our Stampin' Seal is that you have a second. You can pull this apart and retry. All right. I feel like this one is kid friendly for sure. If you have one of our punches that are available online, they are super, super easy to punch any size circle. So I have all of my circles now, semicircles adhered. So I'm going to do this last one and wrap it around to close that circle. Okay, so just like that. Now I have a tiny hole punch. I don't know if you can see this super tiny punch right there. So I used that, but you could use any size. And I actually kind of went right in the center as much as I could and punched my hole. Ooh, see if you can see that. There we go. Okay. You could, of course, do a larger one. It's not going to affect this a whole lot. I'm going to go ahead, however, and we're going to paint. And I pulled out the silver, the Metallic Effects Enamel silver for this particular one. And let's see, I went ahead, I hung this after it was painted so that it could dry. So I'm going to go ahead and push this through here. You'll want some scissors on hand in case your piece is a little frayed at the end. You'll want to trim it and make sure it's able to go through whatever sized hole that you create for it. So all right, and I just tie a simple knot at the end of that. So I could leave it like this, but I like the tie of the bow, which I'll do after everything dries. So I just have a generic paintbrush. I'm actually going to grab another one of these, however. And we'll use part of this. So I'm just shaking this up a little bit and squirting it on the plate. And you could use your fingers. It's really pretty flexible here. And I just took it and dab it all along the edges, and it just kind of gets a little bit on both sides here. And I did that for the whole thing. Just to add a little bit of sparkle to this. Again, you could have some glue nearby and add actual glitter. Actually gonna grab my finger and do these. There we go. You can see I'm just holding this string out of the way because I will hang it by the hanger so that it can dry completely. One more edge to do here. Now this is very subtle. It is not, it's nothing super fancy. I'm actually going to hang this where my phone is for a second, and I will tie my ribbon on there. And then I'll show you what it looks like while it will dry the rest of the way. You could always add some sequins in here, however you would like, to put a little extra sparkle or shimmer. Oh, of course, because I didn't let it dry all the way, I got it on my hands. But okay, so here is this one that is going to dry the rest of the way. You can see that. There we go. So you can paint it, let it dry, add some sparkle, whatever works for you. All right, I'm going to move this out of my way. Let's see if I can hang it over here. All right, and then I just fanned those circles back out a little bit so that everything dries and it looks pretty round. Always handy to have some baby wipes sitting around. So again, this is what that will look like in silver, except this one is gold. All right. Oh, Sana, you're at Tokyo. Man, I want a sushi roll now. They suckered you into Tokyo. All right, we have one more ornament tonight to do, and it is a wooden ornament. And I'll show a couple of examples of the ones that I did. Again, I added some gold to the edges of these. Tonight we're going to add some silver. So these are almost like a decoupage with wooden circles. So in your kit, and then these have punch outs on them. So you can see I've punched out the Christmas tree here, or just the winter tree. And then I've got the truck punch here. This is, I love it. It's just so gorgeous. So we're going to have a tiny bit of stamping and a tiny bit of decoupage. So in your kit, you will have your wooden ornament, and then I thought that this deer would be precious, precious, precious. So we're going to actually hold this up to the light and make sure that we can see where the deer is going to be on our ornament. So I basically look through and find the shadow. And then I trim a little bit around here, just a rough trim. So I'm going to hold it up there again when I go and add my glue. Okay, so you will have some scrap from this project because you're going to trim around your circle. So the best thing I found was, I love Mod Podge. I love to make a mess with Mod Podge. So you can use our glue as well, but I'm going to use Mod Podge at the end as to kind of seal the whole thing. I don't know if you can see, this kind of has a little bit of a shine to it. Yeah, there it goes. So that is the Mod Podge to seal it, just so that it's not just a paper ornament. So I'll go ahead and use the Mod Podge on the bottom since I have it out. But again, if you do not have Mod Podge and you've got this, that'll work just fine. I'm sure school glue will work as well. Maybe not a glue stick. All right, so now I'm going to place this on here so that it covers the whole thing up. And then I'm going to hold it up again and make sure that my deer is kind of where I want it to be. And then I turn it over and just press the whole thing down. Now it does have to sit for just a moment. I thought I left my baby wipe out to use again. I must have tossed it already. So I'm going to give this just a moment to dry. You will need sandpaper for this to look correct. And I just happen to have this little bit of sandpaper here waiting to be used. So this is ready when you can't slide this, because what you're going to do next is you're going to kind of fold this on and make a crease, because this is where you will actually sand this edge. And you don't need a huge piece of sanding paper. And you're just sanding off on the edge here. As soon as you can see that wood underneath, you can tell that it is kind of ready to pop off of there. Okay, so now I have this ready to go here. I can add a sentiment to this. I'm actually going to come over here and poke this. So just to figure out where it is, you can use a safety pin or whatever you have to get that hole back in there, and then push it down. Make sure you didn't destroy anything. Now I have some sandpaper all over the place here. So I'm going to just move this out of the way for a moment. Now you can add a stamp. And since I'm using the Berry Christmas Suite, I have the Merry Christmas stamp from here. And I used our Stays On ink because this will go on a lot of non-porous and porous surfaces. So if you wanted to stamp on glass, you could use our Stays On as well. And I used this Merry Christmas And the only trick with a StazOn is that you do have to use a special StazOn solvent to clean it off. So I'm going to get that ready to go. This comes with an extra layer to keep your ink protected and quality. And I'm going to stamp this right on here at the top. Being careful not to wiggle. You can see it's a sticky type of ink. So it's a little different than a card class, but hopefully you like ornaments and you are excited about the holidays like I am. I will have some ornaments displayed and for sale at my next 2 events. So if you want to send me a message with a special order, I will take a look at that also. Ooh. Thank you, Sonia. Oh my word. Obviously, I need to go to sleep or something today if I'm gonna mess up my words that bad. My child. Okay, so this is an easy one. No punches or anything, just the little deer in the background. This paper is still available online. It is the One Horse Open Sleigh paper. And I just have to wait long enough for that Merry Christmas to completely seal, and then I can go back over this with my Mod Podge. You can see I just shake it up, and then I'll take what's in the lid and use that. And I'm going to start down here, and I literally just brush the Mod Podge on. And then I will let this sit so that it will completely dry. And then I will add, I don't know what I got on there. I will add some silver to the outside edges after it is completely dry. Now I did put a little bit too much for a second here. So I'm gonna swipe some of that off. It will dry clear, as you saw in the other ornaments. All right, so that is our ornament drying on silicone so that I can lift it up later. Now I can use my brushes again as long as I clean them before they harden too much. So the next step of this, after this dries, you'll poke the hole back through for your twine, which you'll get a piece of that as well. And then you'll just add any color to the outside edge that you have. And then I like to sign ours on the back because we do give them with gifts. I will actually send these in the mail with a Christmas card, and they are so light. I do not expect to have to add any additional postage, but I'll keep y'all updated as soon as I send one. I'll let you know. Okay. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. So those were our projects tonight. I'm going to pull down all the dry ones. So we have this one here, a round paper ball. We have our wooden ornaments that we can stamp Merry Christmas or Warm Wishes, whatever you have. You can add a layer on dimensionals with that or leave it. And then we had our, I'm calling them pine cone ornaments, but they're medallion ornaments. Okay. So I hope that any of these sparked your fancy and you'd like to make them. I would love if you do create one to share that with me on social media. And my screen has just gone blank. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Technology. I'm assuming that one of my filming surfaces is still there. And I guess I'm gonna have to end it. But if you make one, share it with me. And if you'd like a kit, again, follow the directions in the description and I'll get a kit out to you within the next week or so. Y'all have a great rest to your week and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye.